just to define, sort of problem solving, and maybe one of the first roles of being a leader in that, is that, firefighting, a lot of organizations over the last 2 years dealing with staffing shortages or work from home or supply chain disruptions or whatever that might be, has spent a lot of time in firefighting. And that's a form of problem solving. Those are usually very, very quick return, not a lot of structure type of fire problem solving. We have execution gaps, right? We might be performing at a certain level, and our performance drops, and now we have a gap that we have to close. And so we have a lot of those types of problem solving efforts. This is a lot of the tools. The tools of problem solving will often focus here, even though that's only one piece in the overall spectrum of problem solving. We have structural gaps. This is where maybe our organization isn't set up to do what it needs to do. This could be org changes. This could be changing the nature of the work, the systems of the work. These are often big impact. They often aren't a reaction to something, more about being proactive and trying to change what the organization is capable of. And then strategic gaps, which is just another type of problem solving. I argue that all strategy is problem solving. One way or the other, you're trying to close gaps and trying to go make something happen. So what's important to understand is that all of these are problem solving, and I don't care whether you have a tool, don't have a tool, what tools are in your toolbox. And so when I talk about problem solving, I'm often talking sort of tool agnostic. I have my favorite tools for certain. There's tools that I like to use in my problem solving. But what I've learned is that when I look at the best problem solving organizations out there, and I look at some of the worst problem solving organizations out there, many of them use the same sets of tools in their problem solving. So it's not, in my opinion, it's not the tools that differentiate us. The tools are useful, the tools are important and helpful, but they are not what distinguishes good from bad. And so that's especially true when we understand this broader spectrum of problem solving, that some of the capabilities, some of the behaviors, and we'll talk more about this as we go on, are the same things down here in firefighting as they are over here in strategic gaps. Things like, understanding cause and effect, right? No matter where I am in the spectrum from end to end, understanding cause and effect is a core capability that helps my firefighting, helps my execution gaps, problem solving, helps my structural gaps, helps my strategic problem solving. So no matter what I'm doing, that's a core capability. So the very first thing as a leader that we need to pay attention to is that, for most organizations, there's sort of a center of gravity, right? So let's say your center of gravity is here. That means you're only, you're doing a bunch of firefighting, maybe you're doing some execution gaps. And so that, that center of gravity affects what you can and can't do. And especially coming out of the last couple of years, a lot of organizations they were sort of sucked down here to the left. They need to shift the center of gravity of their problem solving to be more up here. Right? And so that's one of the first roles of the leader, is to help understand that, hey, if we're stuck in firefighting and that's all we're doing, how do we climb out of that? How do we shift the center of gravity? How do we shift the focus from firefighting to some execution gaps and structural gaps? Because if you're down here in firefighting all day, every day, it's really hard to also pay attention to fixing your strategy, right? Which is why a lot of organizations that I'm working with are today kind of re-looking at their strategy for the first time in a couple of years, because they're just starting to claw their way out of being in firefighting mode. So, understanding that problem solving is everywhere, tools or no tools. that we as leaders have to understand where we are in the spectrum and help influence what types of problems we're solving.